have such a diverse talent. You've been in the automotive industry for 14 years. And if I recall, you sold cars. And when you were on the floor, you were 20 plus, right? I think was your top month, like 26 cars or something like that?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
20, right, no doubt.
I've always been the kind of person, I want a lot of cars, but at the end of the day, it's a race to the bank, not the title office, right?
Right.
Let me ask you a question. Did you come here to listen to money or make it? This is L.A. Williams, the Blind Master. And Sean V. Bradley and I came here for one reason and one reason only. That's to fill your pockets with money. Now how we gonna do it? By giving you the secrets, techniques, and strategies for you to stop losing and start winning at this game called Automotive Professional Sales.
Morgan, welcome to the show.
Hi guys, good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
It is my pleasure. Well, listen, first of all, I just met you at the Automotive State of the Union conference. So shout out to all those guys over there, from Paul, Kyle, my man, Mike Cirillo, and the rest of the team. They provided an amazing educational environment for dealers. And I got the opportunity to meet an amazing corporate executive. So let's start there. What did you think about the event?
It was wonderful. It was really neat to see a lot of these people I've talked to from podcast or, the clubhouse meetings. And it was really cool to meet all of these people in person, including yourself, and just mingle with people with like-minded individuals, right? There's a lot that the dealer industry is huge. There's thousands of us. But to get into a group with individuals who are very like-minded, and feel the same way about treating humans and our customers the same way, just felt really good, really good.
Now, you got a chance to see Tiana Mick, aka T Got Your Keys session.
Yes.
I just want your opinion, like sincerely, what were your thoughts about her session and the information that she shared?
Tiana's session was fantastic. She is, I can tell she is a force to be reckoned with, which I can appreciate greatly. Just listening to her speak and her overall conviction towards her customers and her clients was just phenomenal. I can tell the way that when you're listening to a speaker, you can always tell who's faking it to make it and who's not. And you can tell just her conviction and really wanting to, spill her knowledge. And hey, these are the things I've done in my career. These are the things that I've done with my customers that have been super helpful. And she was very, very insightful.
Listen, everybody knows I'm a proud, dad. And again, both my daughters are in the industry. Tiana has now 6 years automotive experience, 3 years on the retail side and 3 years on the vendor supplier side. And her sister, my younger daughter, Kalina, works at RK Kia for the last 3 years. So the reason why I bring this up is that what really impressed me, not only just the conversation, your articulation, but the level of success that you've achieved in this industry. You work for a very prominent dealer group. So Germain has how many rooftops total?
We've got 12 here in Columbus, Ohio. We've got 3 up in Michigan, and then we have 2 in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
very large.
My question to you, first big question is, do you think there is enough female representation in the industry, part A? And even if you did so, do you think that there's enough females in leadership positions?
Absolutely not. There most certainly is not enough women in the car business. When I joined, when I was 21 years old, I was the only woman on the floor, and now there's quite a few more, but we're working on that. But absolutely not. There are not enough female representation, and I think we all know the reasons, right? There's a lot of long hours, and it's just been a field that's been difficult for women with children and families. I would love to see the representation grow. I think the car business is a fantastic place for women. I also have 2 sisters who are in the car business too. Not a family thing, just, hey, we see our sister doing it, and like your daughters, we're going to do it too. I think that having more females in leadership positions would do nothing but help the automotive industry. I think that we bring a different thought process. We bring different ideas to the table. And I've seen a lot more women coming up in the business, which is fantastic, but I would love to see even more.
Okay. So here's the thing. I want to unpack this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You said everybody knows. Apparently not, because if everybody knew why there wasn't enough females in automotive, I think they might change it, because here's the thing that I don't understand. Dealer synergy, one of the big services we offer dealers is recruiting and staffing. Okay. I literally recruited 37,000 automotive professionals and managers all over the United States. I think out of 46 out of the 50 states in the last 19 and a half years. And so I have a lot of experience in this. And I still find in October of 2023, going into 2024, that there is a major deficiency for talent, period. Male, female, Martian, whatever. Dealers are complaining they don't have enough people. They don't have the right people. So if we have this entire demographic, females, but we're doing something wrong, or we're not doing something to recruit them, there's got to be a disconnect. So let's say that you said that one of the reasons why are these hours. Okay, explain. As a female, talk to the dealers, the DPs, the GMs, other corporate executives, and explain to them on the show, why do you think that their hours are compromising recruitment of females? Let's talk about this.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture. So the automotive industry has an overall poor representation and poor reputation, not only just with the public, right? We're considered liars and cheats and whatnot. Well, women are also the public, right? So we see that. And I think women are a little bit more adverse to being in types of situations like sales positions, compensation, commissions. There's different things to hours. So they have this perception, right? So I don't think that all the dealerships have poor hours or poor conditions for women, but I think that is the perception, right? Well, it's sales. I'm going to make commission. I can't work a commission. Many women carry the burden of their children, right? Working long. Well, we're going to have to work long hours at sales. Well, that's not the case always, right? It's dealers making that road for women, right? So within our dealership, we have different hours, we have different times. But anyways, back to the dealers. This is what you need to do. Here's what I would suggest. If you're trying to hire more women, you need to really consider what's important to them, right? Is it children? Is it time off? And that's going to be different. Every woman is not the same. I have 2 children myself. My husband works in the automotive as well. However, we both have schedules that make it easy and we can work it out together. But we all know we're starting on the sales floor. You're working Saturdays, you're working Monday through Friday. And I think that a lot of us old timers have this perception that they need to put in your time, right? No matter whether you're a man or woman, when you come into the dealership, you need to put in your time. You need to do the 12-hour days, the bells that we did. That's required, right? And I think we need to get out of that mindset. Very often we're in this mindset where like, oh, they got to put in their time to be able to get, well, that's not necessarily today's atmosphere. We have a lot of people that come in and they get different schedules, whatever it may be, but it's working with those individuals and understanding that having women within your dealership is only going to increase your bottom line. And what do I have to do to make that happen? How do I get involved with groups? How do I hire, how to recruit those people? It's listening to them, right? Figuring out what's important to them. Hey, talk to the women that already work in your dealerships. Hey, why would you want your friends to work here? Why not? Would you ask your sister? Would you ask your mom or dad? Why not? Oftentimes I've done a lot of hiring for positions, interviewed a lot of women. I've talked to all of my friends. Oh my gosh, I could never work in commission. I could never work in sales or this reason or that reason. Well, hey, no problem. Did you know that we actually have it set up to where like we don't even make commission in these certain positions? It's set up as a salary. I see that often, but I think it's just making concessions and trying to figure out what makes sense for certain individuals, right? What makes sense for that woman? What makes sense for the people of your community? And really, I'm going down a couple of different roads, but
well, let me just kind of reiterate what I've heard you say, because you hit, Morgan, some really amazing bullet points. So let me just go through them and recap them for our audience. First and foremost, what I love is, seek first to understand. If there are any females in your organization, interview them, ask them, hey, why did you take this job? Why did you want to work in automotive? What about this career interested you, excited you? Ascertain what they liked and say, hey, what don't you like about the automotive industry? And then I love your question. Hey, would you recommend this job or this career to your friends? No, why not? And once you qualify, what you're doing is you're qualifying a prospect, you're a prospective candidate for an employment, maybe not a prospect to buy a car, but a candidate. You're still trying to sell somebody something. You're not selling them a car, you're selling them a job, you're selling them a career. So I think you should qualify, identify a prospect's wants, wishes, expectations. Those are the rules of engagement. And to name a couple things, if you say that, which I agree with you 100%, the hours, let's unpack that one. I don't think that you necessarily need to have bell to bells. I'm telling you right now, in October of 2023, if you're doing bell to bells, something is wrong at your organization. I mean, no disrespect. And if you're making your freaking people, whether they're male, females, the giraffes, anybody, work the entire last week of the month so you could close out your month strong, that means that something went wrong the first, second, and third week of your month, that you have to force people into indentured servitude to be able to work. I'm going to reference Ali Reda. Ali Reda literally only works 45 hours a week, Monday through Friday, and no weekends. And he sells anywhere from 130 to 200 cars in a month. Yes, he has 2 assistants and he has a salesperson that works for him. But still, holy crap, one guy and 3 employees outsells literally over 50% of the dealerships, 150% of the dealerships, I apologize. The average dealership sells 96 cars. That's with 10 salespeople, 2 sales managers. So how does one guy able to do that? Because he has a better mousetrap, a better process, and it flows more professionally, more fluidly. So again, I agree, Morgan, you don't need to give people an archaic schedule. It's not like misery loves company or you have to earn your keep. This is like gang warfare. You got to get jumped into the gang. No, you don't have to do that. The second thing you said is commissions. Look, are you kidding me? Come on. Any high-level manager owner knows that we are making more gross than we've ever made in the history of automotive. It behooves you not to have commissions. If you turn around and do flats or tier base or volume, and I'm not saying for everybody, but eliminate the objection. If you have a prospective candidate would be phenomenal at your organization, but their hang up is commissions, are you kidding me? As a GM or as a dealer, I would be all over that. Ma'am, not a problem. How about we look at this pay plan over here? It doesn't have to be everybody for everything. There's different cars for different people, different have wants, wishes, needs, budgets, situation, credit. So why are we trying to shove one schedule, one pay plan for one person? That's why we don't have what we're looking for. The third thing is reputation. Again, I'm going to push back on this. I've been in this industry for almost 25 years, Morgan. And yeah, when I first got in the 90s, we were still dealing with the BS fallout from all the psychotic stuff that the 80s people did, right? But there are more priests and there are more police that are being exposed and being, talked about than car. But when was the last time Geraldo Rivera or somebody jumped out from Fox News or CNN to expose a dealer? It doesn't happen anymore. With Google reviews, Yelp reviews, online reputation, CSI, our industry has been purified. There's some parasites out there, but for the most part, our industry is good. But dealers are not doing enough PR, public relations. We're not going to job fairs. We're not going to high schools, vocational schools, colleges. We're not creating intern programs. And because of that, we are only getting what we get. So if we reverse engineer why females are not in this industry and then just solve them, it's like, hey, if you try to sell somebody a car, you're a good car girl, right? I'm a good car guy. It's simple. If I have a prospect in my showroom and their objection is price, I got to isolate the objection, overcome the objection. If another objection comes out, I'm going to isolate that, overcome that, and then I'm going to sell them a car. What we need to do is identify what these objections are, these pushbacks are, isolate them, and overcome them. Do you agree?
Absolutely, 100%. And I think another portion of that, when we're talking about commissions and pay plans, and when you have an individual that comes into your dealership asking the questions like, hey, what are your goals? One thing that I've seen quite often, and that I can say that, in my opinion, contributes to this a little bit, is that a woman comes into a dealership and says, hey, I want a job. What's the first position they say?
BDC.
Oh, you want to go to BDC? Yeah, you want to go to BDC? Yeah, okay, that sounds great. That's where most of we have a lot of women that work in there. Let's go to BDC. And then they get to BDC, and if at the majority of dealerships, in my opinion, the BDC doesn't receive the same type of respect as the salespeople do, right? That has been, BDC is their own thing, when really we all know BDC is the one making the phone calls, setting up the appointments, doing the legwork, doing the hard work, right? We're paying them $10 an hour. They're finding a job down the road for 15 when really they could have been the best salesperson on your showroom floor, but you chose to pass them up because they're women and they belong in BDC, and BDC is just, oh, it's BDC, whatever, we'll deal with them later. And I think that's a really not looking internally and just trying to like put all the women in the back room answering the phones, right? We pulled a BDC agent from the BDC, put her on the sales floor a couple months ago, and I think it was the next month she was the top salesperson. So and continues to be a top ranking individual, and I think she's in her early 20s. So I think it's looking internally as well, right? We have a lot of really, really, really good sales professionals that are in our BDCs, looking a little deeper in there. Hey, who are these people? Identifying, growing them out of there versus just, hey, do you want to be a BDC manager someday, right? And it's scary too. They see the salespeople, and men, we get a little aggressive sometimes, and seeing that on the showroom floor can be a deterrent as well. So I think improving that relationship between the BDC and your sales department, your sales floor, is also going to be huge, and that needs to happen everywhere. Period.
I think that you hit something that not a lot of people talk about. You're absolutely right. The two positions, okay, that females get shepherded to, BDC and receptionist. That's it. And it's so demeaning. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, that I made sure that both of my daughters did not go into BDC. I said, no, you have to go on the floor, because look, I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't care, even if you're a great BDC person, if you've never taken it up, you're not going to have the respect of other salespeople and other managers. I don't care what they say. They might be respectful, they might be polite, they might not be condescending and rude, but they're really not going to truly respect you. I say that the car industry is prejudiced, maybe not on race, maybe some people are, but they're prejudiced if you've never taken it up before. You can't be in the BDC and expect them to do what you want, do what you need, and do it with respect if you've never walked in their shoes, you've never taken it up, you never put a deal together from A to Z. So I definitely think that more managers and owners need to see higher value than just receptionists or BDC reps. I think there should be females in all aspects of the dealership. Let me tell you why. NADA says that females have over 86% buying power in an automotive purchase. They even influence almost 70% of truck sales. Hell, my wife is the CEO of the company that I freaking founded. My wife runs the house, runs the company, and I'm proud of it. I mean, like, she's better at certain things than I am. There's a book called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus for a reason. Women are wired differently than men. I'm not making this up. I mean, not every, but a vast majority of comedians, of TV shows, movies, plays back and forth that men and women are different. So why, if females have the preeminence, the supreme buying power and the supreme influence, why do we not have enough females representation? Because I'm going to tell you this, I learned from my daughters. Some females prefer to work with other females for whatever reason. And some guys prefer to work with females for whatever reason. Maybe they think that, my daughter used to tell me, Tiana, your keys would say some guys would like to work with me because they think that I'm just a girl that I'm not going to take advantage of them. And not that she took advantage of anybody, but she maxed gross. You know what I mean? And even in certain circumstances, regardless, all that matters is that females have a tremendous amount of value, and most dealers are not gravitating towards this. Sales, BDC, reception, service writers, service managers, F&I, they're corporate executives, dealer principals. There needs to be females in all aspect of the automotive experience for one reason, and one reason more than anything else, because if females are the supreme buying power and influence, don't you think that it would be better, more conducive, more successful, more profitable if you had those females in these positions to make those females that have the actual buying power feel more comfortable? What do you think about that? Do you agree with that logic?
100%. And there's so many, like you said, there are differences, right, between men and women. I'm not saying one is better than whatever, but the science says,
Agreed.
Hey, 80% of the time, women are helping make these decisions, right? We're the ones who plan the parties. We're the ones who do a lot of the nitty-gritty thing. And men are really good at other things too, right? A lot of men grew up in the garages of their dads or their fathers, so they know the cars a little bit better, right? We all have our thing, but I couldn't agree more. In every aspect, having in anything in life, having more than one opinion on something, especially in differing opinions, is good, right? So having men and women in every part of the dealership aspect only makes sense.
I don't want to turn the whole show into women in automotive because you have so much more value, but I do want to kind of get a couple bits more of opinion from you. So we talked about the challenges of why. So I would like to just take a couple minutes and get your opinion. If guys are listening to this, meaning managers, GSMs, GMs, dealer principals, and they're like, okay, you sold me. I need to get me some more females to work in my dealership. How do they go about doing it? I have some ideas, but I want you to go first. How can, an organization, a dealership or dealer group, how can they proactively seek out female candidates for sales, BDC service, et cetera? How and where do they recruit females?
Yeah. So I would start with your own individuals who work for you now, right? I think that can be sometimes a little bit of a tricky situation, but if you've got women that work for you now that are fantastic, you love, hey, do you have any friends or family that may be interested in working here? What are the things that you like? What, you don't have any friends that would be interested in working here? Why not? What is there something about here? Figuring out what it is that you do within your organization that makes it great for women to work there. Figuring out what things maybe we need to change. Maybe we need to hire somebody to babysit kids during the day. Maybe we need whatever it may be. I can't remember what it is, but there's a dealership down in Georgia, I believe, that does that where they've got.
No, I've heard that too. Yes.
Yeah.
But
so
wait a
figuring
minute,
out those things.
Not just the value package, Morgan. Like I like what you were saying. So what I got out of that is, if you have any females that are there, whether they're in office, technicians, service, parts, sales, BDC, F&I, try to get them to be recruiting agents for you. Have them give you referrals, prospective candidates. Okay, that's one way. Second way, I'll go for one, is that there are organizations, especially in cities, like female business, networking groups, female business leaders, almost like a chamber of commerce, but there's women groups. Okay. There's online groups and there's physical, meetups and things like that. So females could get together. I would say find these female networking groups, whether they're online, LinkedIn or Facebook, or they're in your community, like the Chamber of Commerce or what have you. They have them for minorities, diversity, all sorts of stuff. There's women. My wife, as a CEO of this company, is part of a female leadership business group in South Jersey. And so she's connected to that. So I think that is one way. Another way that I mentioned before is having programs with schools. People will be shocked to know this. I went to Rider University and I was actually in Zeta Beta Tau fraternity. Okay. There's a lot of sororities, obviously, at colleges and universities. So going through the college, career center, the social workers, or through, sororities, you would have the ability, colleges, high schools, vocational schools, community colleges, universities, specialty trade schools, etc., whether it's through the school itself, it's through the education, or it's through the intern program, or it's through a sorority, you have an ability to target females. One other one, and I'm going to toss on some ideas from you. There's also things that you could do with marketing. You can actually target females on social media. You can target females through Facebook ads, Instagram ads, social media ads. You can do geofencing, which means that you could target areas, you could target buildings. For example, this is how crazy it is. If you know that there's a women conference or what have you, you could actually geofence and geo-target that conference or that location and drop display ads or video ads, for females. You can, if there's magazines or if there are publications that are predominantly female demographic, you could take ads out there. So if you want females, freaking find them. Morgan, what are your thoughts on that? Do you have any other ideas?
Yeah, 100%. And I think, so personally, I've never been in a position where I've had a hard time hiring. And I am really, really grateful for that. But I think it comes down to are you a good place to work, right? Regardless of what we're doing, whether we're selling cars or cutting hair or working at the grocery store, like are we a place where people want to work in general? When you have women, men, whoever, but all the women that I've had working for me, they post online, they post on their social media, and then now their friend wants to work here and their friend wants to work here. Now you've got a line of people. So I think at the end of the day, really, are you a good, hospitable place to work for? Do you make this a great place to work for women? Because at the end of the day, that word gets out quicker than anything else, right? And also one big thing that I like to do personally, if I'm at a restaurant, if I'm at a shop, we know how it is, right? Game recognizes game. So when you are out and about and I see a woman who, I was shopping the other day and there was a lady there and she was helping me pick out an outfit, and she was just so good. She was just really asking me questions. What can I do? And I had to leave, and I came back and I was like, all right, I'm going to get this. And she remembered my name. She works in a retail shop in the mall. And I told her my name 3 hours prior to that. And she remembered my name when I came back. And that was the moment where I was like, hey, if you ever considered working in the automotive industry, that's what I do. And I like to talk to him like, hey, this is what I do. And this has been very successful for me. My two sisters work in automotive as well. I'd love for you to just come in, chat with me someday, check out our dealership. And that's happened many times. One of the girls that works at our Mazda dealership, she worked in a golf course as a bartender. And the coolest thing was she's like, hey, I worked here to see if I could get some opportunities. She came into the dealership 3-4 times prior to even applying, I think, to just kind of see what we did. Hey, how do you guys work? What do you do? And that was really neat. And just inviting people into your dealership. Hey, just come check it out, right? Like, you don't have to come get a job right now, but come check out, see what we do. But I think recognizing talent out in public, hey, look for women that have provided you phenomenal service and just invite them into your dealership. Hey, come check it out. I think that's huge.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Dealer Synergy is an award-winning training, consulting, CRM, recruiting, and accountability firm. We are a 13-time Dealer Choice Award winner. We have proudly served automotive dealers for 20 years and have trained over 150,000 automotive sales professionals. We've worked with over 3,700 rooftops across the country, not including our global clients in Canada, Russia, the Dominican Republic, and more. We are the most sought-after subject matter experts and pioneers of the automotive industry. Our executive team has a combined 75-plus years of automotive industry expertise at the highest level. We've literally taken dealerships from having challenges and problems, some even on the brink of bankruptcy, to becoming national success stories.
Dealer Synergy had really helped build something from the ground up. You guys have made me fall in love with what I've always loved to do. I give credit to Dealer Synergy.
I just hired 8 people, and Dealer Synergy HR really was critical in me being able to do it.
You provided the training, you helped us with our CRM. You provided a solution for a lot of things that I was looking for. Our people loved LA, what Karen has done for me personally. Franca, her communication back and forth. You've got a really solid group of people.
Having somebody like Sean and his company that knows automotive, so the marriage between what knowledge he possesses and the fact that he has this great video production staff, it gives you the best.
We talked about women in automotive, but
Sean comes in the dealership
such
and
a diverse
he
talent. You've been in the
advanced
automotive
us
industry for 14 years
ahead.
And if I recall, you sold cars, and when you were on the floor,
leading edge
you were
training company.
20
Go
plus, right? I think
to BradleyOnDemand.com and give your team access to the best automotive training in the world.
I want a lot of cars, but at the end of the day, it's a race to the bank, not a title office, right?
Right. Straight up, I agree. So I want to ask you this simple question. You've sold cars on the floor. You've been a manager. You've done so much stuff. Now you've climbed the ranks to being part of one of the most respected dealer groups in the country as a corporate executive. Please tell me, what would you say is your superpower? Like, I know you could do a lot of things. You could take it up. You could do this. You could do that. But what would you say that you're the absolute best at, and very few human beings are at your level at this one skill, automotive related? What would that be?
I would say curiosity. That is, I come into every situation with wondering versus telling people. I don't enjoy going in and talking to people about what I know or what I do, but I'm constantly curious about new things, new inventions, new people. My constant need for wanting to know more. I'd say just my pure curiosity has really been the driver of my success. Hey, who are you? What are you doing? figuring that curiosity without a doubt has been my X factor.
And because that ensures that you're not complacent. You're always looking to do more, be more, and achieve more. Fair enough. But my question, I want to narrow it down. Mm-hmm. What subject would you say? Showroom sales, internet sales, BDC, digital marketing, F&I, fixed operations. What category in the automotive ecosystem would you say you're the best at?
Probably being a sales manager.
I love it. Let's go in for this podcast. Sales management. Listen, talk to me, because I am so frustrated with a lot of sales managers out there, because I feel, for whatever crazy reason, once you become a sales manager, you stop wanting to educate yourself. You know, we force our salespeople, or we should force our salespeople, to do road to the sale training, product knowledge training, social media training, branding referrals, all this other stuff. But I feel once you become a sales manager, you feel like, most people feel like, I've arrived, and they sit on the tower, and that's that. Talk to me, like, do you agree, disagree that the majority of sales managers, they just stop continuing education once they get that job? Why?
Yeah, I think it's very similar, like what you said. Hey, now I'm top of the man. I worked all these years to get to this position, right? We put in the hours. Now I've got here, and now I'm the man. And I can't quite put my finger on exactly why we do that. I think that we're not immune to it as automotive industry. I think that's across the board as humans in general. A lot of times we get manageritis when we get to that point. Not all do, but it's like a stopping point, I think, for many people. Hey, I've made it to this point. This is what I plan on doing. I can't speak for other people, but that it's odd, because it should be the opposite, right? As a salesperson, you are working for yourself, right? Hey, I've got to make money. Those roles completely switch when you become a sales manager. You're no longer working for yourself. You're working for your team. You're a servant to them. And I think we get that mixed up, right? Now I'm the boss versus now I work for my team. And we get the idea of what that position, and really the true responsibility of that position gets misconstrued. I'm the boss, not the leader. And there's a difference, right? Where we have a lot of bosses, not very many leaders.
Here, this is amazing. I love what you're saying, and I agree 100%. Give us your definition of a sales manager, which you partially did, but I want to just ask you point blank, right between the eyes. Define what a job description is of a sales manager. And here, I know that there's new car managers, used car managers. I'm not talking about that. You know what I mean? I'm talking about sales manager. What is the job description from Morgan, from you at your 14 plus years, part of a gazillion-dollar dealer group? What is your definition for a sales manager / job description? Talk to me.
I think it's 2 words. It's facilitating the flow. So facilitating the flow of the day, whether that, and we know it could be anything from helping our customers. I think the job description, facilitating the flow, embodies working with your clients, working with your salespeople, but whatever that flow is for making that day go as easy as possible. So when I talk about servant leadership, like, is it just my salesperson? Do they have a doctor's appointment this morning? They need help getting that delivery ready. Do I need to go take that car, to the body shop? Whatever it may be, it's being a servant to your clients and to your salespeople, doing what you can to help them grow, but also making sure that everything's going smoothly on the client's end. It's being a servant. At the end of the day, it's being a servant, facilitating the flow of the day, and making sure that you're doing everything in your power to help your people grow.
I would agree. I'm going to, from a trainer level, I'm going to kind of just give you my definition. I believe that a sales manager's primary job is to build a sales team. So I agree with everything you said. Here's just my dealer synergy definition. I believe a sales manager's primary job is to build the most incredible sales team, almost like the coach of a football team or a basketball team or any team. So that's finding the right players on there, because here's the thing is, if I'm a sales manager, I don't want to inherit somebody that's untrainable or that's cancerous to my floor. So part of my success and part of my other team's success is making sure that I have the right players on my team. Because if I have 10 salespeople and 2 of them are a hot mess, one is doing drugs or something else like that, not only am I not going to ROI, but it also might be contagious, the negativity on the floor. So it's making sure I've got the right people on the team. And then when I have them, it is my preeminent focus to develop talent. That's what it is. See, unfortunately, in this industry, there's a 70 to 80% attrition ratio. Why do people get blown out or quit? Because did we hire them dead or kill them after we got them? Do we have the wrong people in the first place? Or do we have good people, but we didn't have an onboarding strategy? We didn't have a training strategy. We didn't have a professional development strategy. We didn't have a, personal development strategy. So, developing that team, making sure that we're doing one-on-ones with our people. They're different. Like to your point, they have different needs, children, they've got, different personalities, different financial situations, different medical situations, different ways that they understand information, kinesthetic, visual, auditory, thinkers, learners, etc. So a manager's job is to develop people and identify every single obstacle, obstruction, or problem that's going to compromise their team and systematically, surgically either help them overcome it or proactively remove it themselves. Because if I'm a 30 car guy, 33 units a month is my average, and that's pretty good. But you know what's better than that? Having a team that's selling 200 cars. 200 smokes 33 every day, of the week. So it doesn't matter how good I am and I'm the best. It's not about me at this point as a sales manager. It's about winning the game, winning it as a cohesive, synergistic, interdependent team. And the way that I've got to do that is by having my shit together. I have to have a philosophy. I have to have a strategy. I have to have a mission, vision, values, because if I'm winging it as I go, there's nothing for people to grip onto. I've got to lead the ship by example, like you said. I can't just shot call and bark orders. I need my people to see that I'm willing to take it up, and here's how you take it up. I'm willing to jump in an EMI or an early management intervention, or I'm willing to do a TO, or I'm willing to do whatever it takes for them to be successful. If I do that, I will earn their respect. It's like, you know what? Sean is willing to go in the field and do this. Man, I'm going to follow somebody like that to the ends of the earth. What do you think?
100%. I couldn't agree more. There was last year I had a point in my career, or 2 years ago, I had a point in my career where I got really busy. We all get busy, right? We all have things on our plate, too much to do. What happens? Sometimes your employees, they fall to the wayside a little bit, or their wants or needs because, I got these things going on. I'll get to that. And I saw the immediate, change in my team. And I think realizing that hey, your job is to make sure that everybody is good, right? Making sure that everybody's your job is, hey, when they need something, that's your job to figure it out right now. It's not later. It's not tomorrow. It's not, hey, I have this meeting. No, you figure it out right now. And that's, for me, that has been the most successful part of being a sales manager. And Morgan will, you go ask her, hey, yeah, you need somebody to go get somebody from out back and because they're having a problem or whatever it may be. Be the person that will always do it, and you will keep that respect. You will keep your employees. But I couldn't agree more. Just facilitating, growing your employees, and they're not going to do anything that you're not doing. I would never ask any of my employees to do something that I wouldn't do. So when I say, hey, I really would like for you to listen to this 30-minute podcast, well, please know I have too. I listened to it this morning on the way in. I read books. I constantly, it's more, I used to do this thing. We called it Saturday. I can't remember what we called it. But anyways, there was a morning motivations with Morgan. And every Saturday morning we do a little roundup, and I'd come up with some sort of, I didn't come up with it, but I would repeat essentially something I listened to during the week and gave it to the whole team. And I really liked that. It made me constantly be learning. So, because I knew that I had to present something new to them on Saturday, but I digress. It's doing what you're asking of your team. Always saying you'll do it. Be the person that they want to come to. Keep that respect, and that's 3/4 of it.
Question for you. Okay, can you give us an example of a typical day? Like if matter of fact, if you were training me, if Sean Bradley just got a job at the Germain, Mazda, right, dealership. I'm a new sales manager, and your job is to train me. And I say to you this, we're in role play now. Morgan, I'm so excited to learn how to be the best sales manager. It's my first time being a sales manager. Can you give me, what should my day look like? I get in, the dealership opens at 9:00. What time should I get there? And tell me, if today's Wednesday, what should my day look like? Give me an expectation from open to close. What time should I get in? What should I do the entire day? And what should I leave? Give me an idea of what my day looks like as a sales manager.
Yeah. So you should always be there early. Yeah, you should be the first person in the door. That's when you get all your work done anyways. In our dealership, we have KPIs. So, hey, what are your things that you have to get done? First things first, always the hardest things in the morning. So if you've got an email from a customer, you've got a bad review, you've got whatever it may be, those things are done first thing in the morning. Catching up with the prior day, we keep track of, closing percentages. Our sales managers keep track of closing percentages for the internet. What appointments do we have? We have a board with appointments, who's coming in today, making sure all of your cars are ready, what appointments, do they have it pulled up? We check through our VIN solutions. We use, hey, what's going on? From there, and each sales manager's KPI is different. So you may be in charge of this, you may be in charge of that, but depending on what those are, but always first things first. So the hardest things you have to do for the day should be done first. We never know what the day is going to bring. We all know it gets crazy. Do those things first. Then meeting with your sales team. Typically, we would do 15 minutes prior to start. So if dealership opens up at 9, 8:45, you're required to be in our sales training office, do a 10, 15-minute training with the sales individuals, whether it be on a situation we had the day prior, whether we listened to a book together for 10 minutes, there's training every single day. And sometimes even employee-led. I think that's been super helpful too. We have our employees do training as well. Hey, you're really good at this subject. Would you mind coming in tomorrow and telling the whole team how you do this? So getting all of those things done up front, up first, really gets your day started off right, personally. And then through the day, we're working on deals, right? Whatever the rest of the day is doing what you need to do in that moment. A lot of the times is, whether that's a customer, whether it's a call, TO, looking at a car, whatever that may be, the rest of your day should require, you should be fully focused on what your salespeople are doing. Towards the end of the night, we check doors still. We check doors. We do checkouts with each individual salesperson. So before they leave, hey, I had a board on the wall personally when I was a sales manager. And before the end of the day, make sure you write all of your calls, your texts, how many appointments, how many cars, how many cars did you buy today or sell today? Doing that checkout each day, talking with each individual salesperson, saying, hey, what are we going to do tomorrow? How did today go? And just doing a quick recap, or maybe they have something personal going on in their life and tomorrow I need to come in a little bit late, but also just touching base with each individual person at least once per day has been huge. But is that a pretty good breakdown? I'm trying to think.
That's really good. Okay.
Each store is different.
I would agree. I just wanted to, again, with your experience, just kind of give people that are new sales managers, like a little bit of I don't know, kind of like breadcrumbs. And for people that aren't sales managers that want to become sales managers or are about to become sales managers, at least now you're giving them a little insight of what they should do. Okay, a couple questions for you now. As a sales manager, with your hat on as a sales manager, what do you think the biggest challenges today in the automotive industry, whether it's with your dealer group or just in general, that salespeople have? Is it inventory? Is it pricing? Is it training? What do you think the biggest challenges for salespeople that's going to compromise their success? What are those challenges?
I think it's without a doubt the training, and that's not just provided by the dealership, but also self-training. The past couple of years, we've had fluctuations with cars, with inventory. Those are always issues, right? But we've worked around those. So at the end of the day, we can work around this. It's finding ways to, how do we speak to our customers? Hey, we don't have any cars, but you can still sell them, right? You can still, hey, we've got a car, the exact vehicle you're looking for is coming in next week. But if you don't know how to say that, if you don't know how to communicate that to a customer, if you don't know how to say, hey, there's a difference. If you answer the phone and somebody's looking for a car that you don't have, sorry, we don't have that right now. And then you hang up the phone, right? You're never making that sale. But if you've been trained and you've gone through all phone training properly and you answer, hey, customer, I'm going to take a look at that. But you were looking for the CX-9. Why is it? Was it you're looking for a larger SUV? Are you asking the right questions? And that comes with training. So I think a lot of the times is we can deal with the adverse effects that we may have from the economy or locally, whatever it may be, if we have the right training. All of these things are just out there, right? These are just things. They're always going to happen. We're going to get sick. We're going to have economy downfalls. It's going to happen. But if we aren't trained to handle those properly, then it doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, I think it's the biggest downfall and the biggest area of opportunity that we have within the dealerships and on the floor, I think is training for all situations. The last couple of years have been super easy. We have individuals who join the automotive industry and they answer the phone. And they're like, I want that car. I need that Civic you have on your lot. You're like, yeah, come pick it up, bro.
I'm sitting here like you're speaking my language. I want to say two things. I believe that the market is changing. We know it. The manufacturers are putting incentives. There's dealers that are discounting cars again. And I think that if you haven't sold cars over 3 years, you're screwed, because you are completely living in la delusional world. If you think that this is what the automotive industry is, we are now moving out of the post-pandemic protocol back into reality. And when the economy bursts, the real estate bubble, the car bubble, all the bubble bursts, if you are not training on tactics that are for this century in 2024 and beyond, you're screwed. I mean, what's crazy is that most dealers forget something. No manufacturer, none of your manufacturers teach you how to sell a car. The only thing a manufacturer mandates is product knowledge, product certification. It is up to the dealership or the dealer group to provide training. And either some stores provide very, very basic training, or they don't provide training at all, or it's antiquated old school training that doesn't work now post-pandemic. And what's crazy to me is this, the average gross now is like almost $5,000 a copy on regular cars, not exotics, not Highlands. There's so much money to be made, but we're not investing in ourselves. Now, I want to show you something real quick, Morgan, and we could, go offline, but I wanted to kind of just show you something that is kind of crazy. So this is, you're talking to obviously the president of a training company, so you're speaking my language. When we have our platform, some of our clients, we have a lot of multi-billion-dollar dealer groups. For example, Coons Automotive is a multi-billion-dollar, company that just got acquired by Asbury Automotive, which is a publicly, traded company. First thing that we do is every day, even just on our online university, we create what's called Dealer Synergy Academy classes. And what we're doing is we have interactive trainings, on every subject: road to the sale, objections, rebuttals, internet, CRM, etc., by high-level trainers and automotive managers. So not like stay-at-home people, like real car people. Now, when you look in here, and this is going live, I can't make this up, I officially have the largest training platform in the world in any country. Okay. And so I literally have 9,000 modules, $7 million worth of content. Now I'm going to drop in here. For example, the Coons organization, as we mentioned, they have 20 rooftops and they have over 400 salespeople, and not even including all the BDC reps and that stuff. But watch this. So what we do is we customize the platform. Now, when I log in here, I want to just show you, because I can't go through all this because we're on a live podcast, but as you guys see here, everything from new hires, onboarding, customization, plus we have specific stuff for the pandemic. CRM. This thing right here is crazy. I'm on every board from like Vin Solutions, eLead, Dealer Socket, etc., especially Vin Solutions. So no CRM company does CRM training. They only do product knowledge training or technology training. I actually created CRM operational training, strategic training, action plans, processes, how to make appointments, how to sell appointments, how to get people to show up through the CRM. So I've never seen that anywhere in our industry. So CRM training, phone sales training, text messaging training, internet sales, BDC, vehicle buying center, which is acquisition, service BDC, and so much more, full-blown showroom training, mindset, projecting, forecasting, the 8 ways to sell, walk-in, be-back, internet, phone, prior customers, orphan owners, service conversions, referrals, and prospecting, the new road to the sale, the traditional road to the sale, customer needs assessment qualifications, objections, rebuttals, closing, value package proposition, leasing, and F&I for showroom people. But check this out. On top of all my stuff, the Millionaire Car Salesman, look what we have. The Millionaire Car Salesman. We have Ali Reda, who broke the Guinness Book of World Records. I have his entire training program that we created here from Ali Reda. Hours and hours of training from a guy that sold 1,582 units in 1 year, 209 units in 1 month, and freaking 35 cars in 1 day. Then we have Chrissy Burton, the #1 female in automotive. She sold 74 cars in 1 month, all special finance. So we have all of our special finance process here. Then we've got my guy, Cody Carter, who is from Tustin Toyota. Cody Carter literally has sold 1,200 units last month at Tustin Toyota. He made $1.1 million on the floor with only one assistant. We have his entire program, and we shot his entire program on site using his dealership like a Hollywood studio. I did his entire road to the sale. Now I'm going to demonstrate to you the worst case scenario. So this is insane. Then we have Tiana Mick and T Got Your Keys and all that she does. So you see, it's not just my training, dealer synergy. I've got the absolute best people in the country. We have Frank Crenity, who sells 110 units a month at Piazza Honda, his entire system. Then we've got sales management, desking, F&I, CSI, customer service, online reputation. This is crazy. Ready? Then we have internet director, BDC director, CRM manager, digital marketing manager. Now, as you know, I'm a best-selling author, right, of Googleopoly. I have an entire course for social media: TikTok, automotive, Clubhouse, automotive, Facebook, automotive, Instagram, automotive, Pinterest, automotive, Twitter, automotive, now X automotive, social media, then digital marketing, everything from video, AI, metaverse, build a brand, SEO, SEM, websites, mobile, online reputation, etc. So what happens is dealers on a dealer group level or corporate level or dealership level use the digital marketing for the dealership or the dealer group. But then the salespeople, like my daughter, what they're doing is they're learning how to build their brand within the dealership's brand, like she did with T Got Your Keys. So the whole idea is, I agree with you. See, you got to understand something. We tell car people all the time that car sales is like owning your own business. But the problem is, the road to the sale and product knowledge is not being an entrepreneur. It's not. You need time maximization, organization, financing, video, social media, PR, a myriad of other things to be successful. So dealers do not provide the right training. And then the CRM alone, 92% of dealership CRMs are not set up correctly and not utilized correctly. And so how are we training them anything but not giving them real CRM tactical training? Do you agree with what I'm saying?
Yep, absolutely. And those are amazing. And but you also have to have your sales managers that hold them accountable to those as well, right? Yeah. Yes. And they have to be the ones watching the videos and, following up with the salespeople. But absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
Here's the thing that we do is this, with our Rather Demand technology, it actually integrates with the pay plan. So for example, if your normal commission is 20%, for your lowest level, I'm giving an example, or it's a flat of $100. Well, what it says is if you have a quota of, 3 modules a day, the modules are about 5 to 6 minutes a piece. So if you want them to do 15 minutes or 20 minutes a day, if they don't do that, then they don't get their minimum commissions. They're now going to be at 15% commissions, or they're going to be at, $75 commissions. So what the software does, it's tied to pay plan. So if they are not doing the basic minimum that the dealership sets as a benchmark, then they're not going to get the minimum commissions. Why should your job description should be optional? Dealers that force accountability are the ones that are most successful. Listen, you're a corporate executive. True or false? The manufacturers don't give up. If you miss by $1 a performance, a stair step, back end, incentive, I've seen dealers buy one car lose $50,000, $60,000. True or false?
True, absolutely true. You could be missing a piece of paper within a notebook and lose out on $200,000.
So then why is it okay if management or ownership says, Morgan, not the manager or the corporate, Morgan, the salesperson or BDC rep or the service writer, Morgan, I need you to invest just 15 minutes a day of your life. And I want you to be on Bradley On Demand or ABC Motors University, and I want you to watch 3 modules a day. Why is it okay for them to refuse to do that simple thing? In my opinion, if the manufacturers hold dealerships accountable, management should force accountability and say, look, you can choose not to do it, but there are consequences. And again, that's not first. First, we train them. First, we show them. But if I trained you how to use the system, if you have been tested and you're like, Sean, I, Morgan, know how to use this online training platform. You showed me, I just choose not to use it. Then why should you still get the basic, commissions? And so I tell people all the time, my platform makes you money whether you use it or don't use it. If you use it, obviously you're going to be successful and you're going to do more, be more, and achieve more. But if you don't use it, then the software is going to know, and you get, obviously kind of taxed or penalized. Make sense?
100%. Yeah. Accountability is by far the thing that we're missing the most. And accountability and kind candor being able to have those tough conversations, but also holding people accountable in a kind way, those are that individual who didn't, if they weren't logging in, they wouldn't work for me. But that's, there's
do me a favor, please say that again. Say that again, please.
If they were not doing what I had asked and shown and requested of them, it sounds like more than once, they most certainly would not work for me.
That's an attribute of a good manager. A manager, my wife says this all the time, has got to juggle, courage, right? Again, you've got to have the courage to not let people walk all over you, because there's too many managers that manage out of desperation or manage out of fear. I don't have enough people on the floor. I can't lose maybe, Bob, Tom, Sally, Jane, whoever it is, because I need coverage on the floor. So they accept mediocrity. And when you accept complacency or you accept mediocrity, you lower the standards on your floor, not just for that person, but for everybody else that works that says, oh, wow, I guess if Tom or Sally got away with it, then why the hell do I need to do it? You have to have integrity as a sales manager and have a minimum expectation of excellence. And that's not an oxymoron, but that's true. A minimum expectation of excellence, or you're never going to be able to win a championship team. So I applaud you for having that courage and saying that if they don't do this, they're not going to work for me. And that's not being the Gestapo, and that's not being like a maniac. That's just being a professional. Again, the manufacturers will pull a franchise if you breach franchise protocol. True or false?
Absolutely true.
So Morgan, let's do this because your time is valuable. I want to give you the opportunity to speak to the tens of thousands of people that are listening into this here, and just what do you want to say? What tip or advice do you have for automotive professionals or managers to be more successful? Give us some of your wisdom from the last 14 years in closing.
I think it's important to find your why. Why do you get up every day, and why should anyone care? I think Dave Anderson says that. That's my favorite. Figuring out what that is has been really big for me. What's important to me? Why do I do this? What's the calling? It's bigger than car sales, right? If we get up and say, hey, I just work at a car dealership, then you just work at a car dealership. But if you get up every day and you're like, hey, my goal is to help other people. Part of my why is helping other people be successful. And that's part of why I get out of bed every morning. So I think it's important to figure out, and that helps get me there on the days I don't want to, right? I don't want to go into work today, but guess what? I've got an employee that really needs some help with training or whatever it may be. That's what gets me out of bed. That's what pushes. So figuring out what your why is. Is it your kids? Is it your family? Is it your employees? It's important to focus on that. Like you said, accountability, kind candor, holding people accountable has genuinely been huge to my success. Think of the car business as bigger than just the car business. I think if you don't mind, I'll tell a quick story, but this is something that's come to my mind since we've talked about this podcast. When I first started in the business, I worked at a Ford dealership and I sold Fords for about 4 years, and I was very, very good at trucks. But if you came in my dealership and you were looking for a truck, you're buying a Ford. And I had a gentleman who came in and he was in his late 70s, was looking at multiple different makes, models. We spent months, we special ordered, got him a cap. Those things it takes a lot of time, but I'm like, man, this guy is tough. This guy's, he's asked me all these questions, but I got it. We special ordered the truck. It was a regular cab, 2-wheel drive, red with a red cap. And long story short, he got the truck. He wrote me this nice letter. It was so kind. And 8 months later, he passed away. And I was, man, that sucks. I just worked with this guy. I mean, shoot, it took us a year just to get this truck. And his wife came in and she wanted to sell the truck back to us. Of course, she's like, hey, we don't need this. And she said, I just wanted to thank you for giving me an additional 7 months with my husband. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. She said, my husband attempted to commit suicide. And his doctor said, I need you to write a list of things that are going to keep you alive. And the top of that list was a new truck. And I didn't know that. And that forever stuck with me because we don't know what we're doing, right? We think we're just selling cars. We think we're just, oh, they want a red one, not a green one, but sometimes we don't know the true meaning of what that is. And ever since then, I treat every car, it gives you a different light, right? I look at every car deal as not just a car deal, but could this car be saving someone's life? Is this the reason why they're getting up today? But anyways, I want to share that story. It just really was very impactful in my life and made me realize that like, this is more than just selling cars. This is impacting people's lives, and treat every single customer and every deal and every employee, assuming that those are the circumstances of their life too.
I got to tell you, thank you for sharing that. First of all, I think that's an incredible story. I think it's incredibly beautiful, and I think it's incredibly relevant. And even though I'm in overtime and I have another like meeting right after this, I want to match your energy with just a quick story in a situation here. What you said is beyond spot on. My ex-wife and the mother of my firstborn daughter, Kalina, who works at the dealership still right now, she did commit suicide. And it was 5 months before Christmas, and my daughter's birthday is 2 days before Christmas. She was 15, about to turn 16. So I was about to buy her first car for her. It was her Sweet 16. She did not want to celebrate her Sweet 16 because she was devastated. She just lost her mother. So what I did is, because dealers don't do this, I went, and there's videos all over the internet that I showed this. I went to Amazon Prime. I had special balloons that said Sweet 16, congratulations on your first car. I mean, it was a VW Bug convertible. So we had the flowers on there. We had the swag. We made it a massive spectacle because as a dad, I wasn't a trainer or consultant. I just wanted my freaking daughter to just, for 5 minutes or 50 minutes, I should say, not think about her mom, not think about her Sweet 16 that she doesn't get to celebrate her mom. So me and my wife blew her fucking mind with this, because she was still a kid. She did want a new car. And that's your point. And then the trainer kicked into me after the dad and emotion wore down. And I was like, why the fuck are we just doing this when somebody is no longer here? This is the second largest item the average American will ever buy in their lifetime. And for some people, this will be the absolute most expensive vehicle that they ever buy. We need to create the experience. And I think that if you want an unfair competitive edge, you need to out-experience your competitors. It's not a race to the bottom. Price is only relevant with the absence of value. When I show, dealers that video, and I'm like, look, can you imagine if I had a prospect that said they wanted to buy a vehicle for a birthday, anniversary, graduation, or whatever? I show them what I did for my daughter, and I tell them straight up, I'm going to make you a super dad or super mom. I'm going to turn around and blow your kid's mind, and then when I say that and I show them that video, these people are super excited about buying from me because I'm creating this experience. So what you said was so righteous. And when you said the other thing, and I'm just so glad that you're on the show today, you also said, you got to find your why. I always say as a trainer, once you find your why, the what doesn't matter. What I mean by that is once you find your why you're doing this, it doesn't matter what it's going to take for you to be successful. If you want the things that the average person doesn't have, you've got to be willing to do the things the average person isn't willing to do, legally, ethically, and morally speaking, always. But that's what I'm talking about. Now, Morgan, thank you sincerely for being awesome. Thank you for being, a leader in our industry. And it was my privilege to be able to kind of, spend the last, 2 episodes with you, like an hour, a little over an hour, sharing your wisdom. So thank you so much.
So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. Let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman group on Facebook. We'll see you there.